Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Sorry if my voice sounds a bit croaky, but very, very good day yesterday that we're about to talk about.
What happened, bro?
Mate, well, first of all, the reason ANGE-R Management is live today is Brian Ireland is over from Toronto. So after the game, there were a load of us that went out, so there was no way to pre-record it. So we thought, you know what? Thank God, mate. Thank God this is a good one, Johnny, to go live with, because if this has been a... But Johnny, first of all, how are you?
All I can say is, Anthony who. Listen, I'm buzzing. I haven't been buzzing this much at a Spurs game. It's been years. It's been literally years. Man, woman, child, old man, everyone was up on their feet yesterday, right? Buzzing. It was just like, hello, huh? We've got our football back.
I'll tell you what, John. People will know I didn't watch it in the ground because I refuse to go in there at the moment. But the atmosphere in the pub was incredible. Was it like incredible? We didn't have a lot of sound on, so we couldn't hear. But I had a lot of people talk about how great the atmosphere was, and we will talk about that during it. Right. Let's just say hello to a few people that are in the building. All right, at the moment. Balls like coconut. Okay, that's a great name to start the morning with. Big up to you. A big fan of the channel, and I haven't seen her for ages. Big up the Americanka. Hope you're good. I don't know if you're on this side of the pond or the other. I cannot wait to get back to the other side of the pond in 5 weeks Tuesday. I can't wait.
Where you were going with that?
Mate, I can't wait. Alex, big up to you. Trust me, stick around. I'm going to tell people who haven't normally watched this before or watched the pre-records, and Andrew Gregory, big up, brother. So, this is a show like no other match day review. So, we're about to go through everything, and we break it down into 4 sections for you. Sorry, I can't count. First of all, that artwork you saw at the beginning, I completely forgot. Go check out this dude's Twitter. Brilliant.
Great stuff.
Designer, great stuff. Mainly about Spurs, but his work is outstanding. So please go check him out. But yeah, as I say, we break it down into 4 sections: the negatives, which won't be very long today; the positives, which will be extremely long today; the special mentions of players that deserve very high credit. That will be a very long section, and then Ange Postecoglou. So strap yourself in. The World Cup doesn't kick off for another hour. We'll finish way before the football. But yeah. Johnny, you always go first on this now. Negatives. And I said, people, we only talk about the football.
Yeah,
but what would you say if there's anything?
We could go through that. We could add on. But the first 20 minutes were tough, right? We were very nervous. The back line was very nervous. It was a hard one. It was a tough watch. But we grew into the game. I also think that there's a lot of work still to be done. As great as the game was and the play was, we kept having they kept breaking our line. I mean, Bruno Fernandes had a couple of gilt-edged chances. They're having to be working on that. The front three for me, just not good enough. Across the line, I didn't think any of them. There was one that was worse than the rest. Richie's not firing at the moment, obviously, but I think the whole front three just really aren't gelling. They're not creating enough.
Yeah.
They're trying hard. That's for sure. They're trying, but not creating. So for me, that was the negative. Plus the referee, I think, I'm not quite sure. why he didn't give that penalty for Romero. I thought the one with the hand with Romero, how could you give that? Last season, that would have been
I thought it was. I thought it was. When we were watching it on the replays, we were absolutely bricking it, thinking it would be.
Last season, that's a penalty. But
Yep.
under the new rules, when you're right on top of the ball and someone kicks the ball at you, it's not. But I didn't understand the one where he was completely taken off.
Yep.
Completely taken out. But those were about the only negatives, I would say.
Okay. Let me just add a minor brief. First of all, I want to say we haven't even been going 6 minutes, and on a Sunday at 9:15 a.m., there's already over 60 of you in here. So thank you very much indeed for spending your morning or whatever time in the world it is where you are. So I'm just going to add one negative to that, and it weren't from what we're hearing. James Maddison left in a protective boot and crutches, which is a huge negative to take away from this game. I think you're right.
Good point.
I think you're right as well. The front three, definitely. I mean, Richarlison ran around and worked hard, but the service. I said on the last one, didn't I, that I think that we got the wrong wingers to be playing for Richarlison's.
100%.
I think we've got to look into it. And honestly, the only thing that worried me, and I'm going to turn the negative into a positive and lead into the positives. We do special mentions after. But the team selection, when I saw Porro at the right back, and you and I aren't fans of Porro at right back, I was dreading it, to be honest. But he had for him at right back, that was I think his best game. But that's the only negatives I can actually take that you didn't mention, Johnny. Can you think of anything else? If you have any negatives,
no,
put it in the comments.
I can't think of anyone. I'm not sure whether Maddison did us all a favour and kicked Bruno Fernandes up the arse while he was going off the pitch, and that's how he done his footing. There was a challenge in the box where he was down for quite a while and carried on. I think that's probably where he did it. But no, I think it's hard to find. It's really hard to find negatives. The one thing I would say, there are still elements of our fan base, right, who just before a ball is kicked, right, was screaming Richarlison shit, Porro shit, Big Vic is shit, right? They just can't help themselves, right? And there's no open book. Give them a chance. So let's see what.
You're right. And do you know what? After a day, big up, Robbie. After a day like yesterday, that's enough negatives.
100%.
Let's get on. I mean, I can't believe this Sunday. It's like I said, 9:23. There's almost 100 people in here now. So big up to all of you. Please, if you get a chance, smash a like and subscribe. It really helps us. I'm not going to keep going on and on about it, but
I will.
That'll be Johnny. I was about to say that'll be Johnny's job.
Listen, guys, that helps our channel. Okay, it helps our channel. We have to do it, and so if you can, it's that little lucky button. Give it a press.
The lucky button. That's what, mate. I've never heard it.
Button.
Okay. So right, here we go. Do you know what? When we've done this show, we've started this show and covered every single Ange Postecoglou game. The positives, even against the 4-2 against Barcelona, have far outweighed the negatives, and today is no different. Right, Johnny. Positives, obviously, we'll do special mentions after the positives.
Let's start with one thing that I called for before the game, right? And that is atmosphere. Let's have our atmosphere back. Let's support the team because it's going to make a huge difference. I always remember the year we left the lane where we didn't lose a single game, and that was due to the incredible atmosphere. Well, I've got to tell you, it was unbelievable yesterday from the off. Bringing back the trumpet, everyone was jumping, right? Before the game, the atmosphere was electric. And let me tell you something. I don't remember the last time I stayed, apart from the finale, 10 minutes after a game had finished. Because that's what I did. I was there.
Really?
Yeah, I was there afterwards. The whole stadium was up on his feet, the people that were left. Ange did the whole lap of honour, clapping. He made the players go round, and everyone was jumping up and singing. The atmosphere was incredible. I think they've taken a leaf out of Brentford's book because Brentford did the same thing. They walk around the stadium. They
So did
clap all
Newcastle.
So did Newcastle, yeah. And finally, the connect with the fans is back.
Before you go on about the rest of the positive, let's talk about that for a bit, because Ryan Isaacs, who's in the chat, my brother,
From
said
another mother.
that atmosphere was better than Arsenal.
It
And obviously
was.
Arsenal's been the highlight of
It was.
that stadium.
Best for years.
Really, it was that guy, because like I said, I was in the pub, so could hardly. They didn't have the.
Honestly, Brian, I was like old guys, young kids. They were all jumping up after the game. Even the guy who was sat too long from me, who did not stop complaining and moaning throughout the entire game. I turned around to him and I said, I wanted to say something to him, but everyone was up and enjoying it. It was fantastic, man. It really, really was. I haven't left Spurs with that euphoria for a very, very long time. Years.
Bloody hell. Well, before we go any further, we have got a super chat in, and I've said his name once and got caught out. I'm not going to say it again, but I will read out the super chat. So I'm not going to read that, but thank you for your support. As you're both Rangers sides of the coin, funny story, Ange was interviewed for the Rangers job back in 2015-16. Imagine how they must feel now. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Well, listen, thank you for the super chat. And when we talk about Ange when we talk about Ange Postecoglou, we'll be going in very, very strongly of how we feel about him. I have to say as well, I'm just to put my hands up, because once again, Tottenham Tower was about recently, and there's Blake, my burner all the way in Australia. Good morning, Blake, sir. How are you? Lovely to see him in Australia, but apparently my troll. But yeah,
if we go for players, shall I give my players?
No, mate, there's so much more to talk about before we get to players. You must have more positives without mentioning players.
Just the football, apart from the first 20 minutes, okay? The energy, the belief of the players. The players believe in what Ange is doing. He's been there for 2 minutes, right? I mean, look, the one thing I would say in Conte's defence is I felt like we had progressive players in that squad who were playing pragmatic football. And what Ange has got, luckily for him, he has got progressive players in a progressive system. So they're having to come back from learning that football that they hated to embracing the football that they love. The love on that pitch, I swear to you, right? The camaraderie, it was just fantastic. It does not look false, man. This looks genuine. The hugging afterwards, just the way Ange went around every player, even Richie, right? And he was hugging him and he was rubbing the back of his head. So look, if anyone can get something out of Richie or any of those players, right, I believe it's Ange. And you're talking to a guy who's, Spurs Rangers fan who did not want Ange. Okay. So it was just all amazing, the football. The energy, there's a lot more to come, but it was immense. It really was fantastic. And when was the last time any of you watching now, whether it be on the sofa or came away feeling this good?
Yeah, I mean, let me just add a few things. I mean, when you say about the team being, you might not have seen it. They might not put it on the cameras in the stadium, but anyone that watched it on TV would have seen it. When Richarlison and Papa Matasar was off, when they were in the dugout, they were having a massive play fight to get, just like you said, the whole atmosphere has been lifted. Everything looks good. I mean, like you said, the first 20 minutes for me were done, settling in, first home game. It's a big one. It's Manchester United. But I honestly think, do you know what I loved? I went around people in the pub, and there was after the game finished, there was loads. It was empty during it, obviously. Afterwards, the coaching horses was absolutely buzzing and absolutely going mad. And before I do that, I just want to say to a guy that comes to all the protests, to a guy that does so much, we've just had a whopping £50 super sticker coming from DJ Samuel. I can't show super stickers, so I just wanted to show that. DJ Samuel,
DJ
thank,
Samuel, thank you very much.
thank you very, very much indeed, brother. Thank you so much for doing that, mate. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Um, but yeah, so I went around to people at the Coach and Horses, and literally, I said to people, "Who disappointed you in that game? Who disappointed you?" And they're
No
like,
one.
"No, but no, literally, they're going, um, didn't even say the front three." I was like, if I'd asked you that last season, you would have gone this one, this one, this one, this. You wouldn't even have
100%.
got. And the change. I mean, we're talking big about Ange. I mean, big when we get to that part of it. And I just want to say hello to 159 people in the building now. Thank you. I it was just outstanding. I mean, what I could, what the special mentions is going to be very, very long and drawn out. I
Does
have to
yeah,
say,
it deserves to be. We're
oh,
credited
completely,
you.
completely, mate. I love talking positively for long rather than having to do the other, which I'm known for doing, unfortunately. But
The game had everything,
but
Brian.
mate, I,
It had everything.
I've got to say to you, we'll go into special mentions, and you always go first, as you know. But last season, after Bentancur's injury, we had no midfield. My God, is all I'm going to say with that midfield yesterday. My God, like you said, everything was just absolutely incredible. And you know what? We've delayed this long enough because you and me
But
are
it's the
chomping at.
opposite, Brian. I just got to say, it's the opposite. It's the complete polar opposite. Last
Mm,
year, they were scared to attack, right? This year, this under Ange, in a short space of time, they're playing with flair. They
yep.
want to attack. They're confident in the attack, you know? They're willing to play with the flair, and they're almost a must watch. I've got to tell you, the other thing is I've worked it out. Harry, I love you. I know you watch. I know you watch Anger Management, right? But you know, while you're sitting there with your breakfast, having your breakfast, we've realised now that you were the Bok. You were the jinx because I don't know what's happened. I didn't even notice you weren't playing. I got to be honest with you. I'd forgotten you. You know, everything you've done for us has been amazing, but quite honestly, now I realise we're playing with freedom. We're playing as a team. We are no longer, no one will refer to us anymore as Harry Kane FC. Okay? Everyone, Paul Merson, Ferdinand, all you people out there who were saying Tottenham be lucky to get 10th, okay? Where are you now after these two games?
Yep.
Where are you? Because, hello, we're playing the best football we played and we don't have that man. So,
Mate, you're bang on the money. I have to say, I've seen we've got people from India, Australia. We've got the Americanka, who I don't know if she's over stateside or over back here in England.
yeah.
So everyone that's tuning in, whatever time in the world it is, we're getting close to 200 people now watching. Thank you so very much. Now, do you know what? I honestly thought when we started doing this, we kind of used this for both positive and negative, and we've moved the negative into the negative because special mentions need to be said about players that have done exceedingly well. And Johnny, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh my God,
Where
where'd you
do
go?
you want to
I'm going
start?
to go. Listen, I absolutely love this guy, and I have done since the day I watched him play in France after we'd signed him.
Oh,
And you know, I made a statement that I thought he reminded me of a young Patrick Vieira, and everyone was saying to me, "Oh, you know, that's a bit of a label." It was his body shape, the way he moves. Papa Sarr has levels, right? That I just don't know where this kid could go to. I really don't. Although, you know, having watched Brentford and watched Basuma play with Skip, it was like the master and the apprentice. Right, son, you'll come with me for the day when you're learning a trade, okay? And watch how I play football. And that's what Skip did, but he didn't contribute. Yesterday, Papa Sarr, not only did he contribute, he liaised. His work with Basuma was unbelievable. Some of those runs from the middle of the park, he's playing well above his 20 years. He really is.
yep.
And just the enthusiasm in his play. He's got it all. Some of the tackles he made, the runs from deep in the midfield. For the first shot he had, which keeper Anana saved.
Yep.
And then there was another couple of incidents where he made incredible runs. I just honestly, the goal, his face, the celebration from the crowd when he scored that goal. The guy is going to be a massive star. I keep saying it. I will keep saying it. I think the two of those together, the legs between him and Basuma, they're like father and son, those two. Basuma's taken Papa under his wing. And I just think the camaraderie those two have got are going to be something to behold. Good luck, rest of the Premier League, trying to out battle those two.
Mate, I've got to say, you and I have been chomping at the bit to speak about this kid, and what a performance yesterday. I literally, if you look at it now, Højbjerg was on the bench. We don't know if he's going or if he's not. That has got to be the midfield three, and you've still got Bentancur and Lo Celso as backup, or Bentancur will probably demand or take his spot back once he's match fit and ready to go. Pat, when I heard the team lineup, and I was with Ben and Simeon from We Are Tottenham TV, and Simeon was reading it out to me. He said, Porro at right back for Royale, but skip for Sarr. I was absolutely over the moon.
Yeah,
I think he's just made that Milan performance in the San Siro look like child's play. What a partnership with him and Basuma. What with Maddison as well. This guy, all energy, and you know what? People are taking away. Not only if you watch his run off the ball to get to that goal, Skip doesn't make that run, or Skip but not just that. What you've got to look at is the finish. That finish was not easy at all. That was not an easy finish. And the fact, mate, the only word I can say it was dominating. It was such a dominating performance, such a great display. That guy is undroppable for me. He's absolutely undroppable.
Some people ask why he took off. Sorry, Brian. Some people ask why he was taken off. If you saw the runs that he was making, right? The energy he used in that game. I think he just got carried away with the game, the atmosphere and everything, lifted everyone's performance. And I think, I think Højbjerg, some people were saying, why did you bring Skip on? I think Højbjerg had to come on, basically, for that bit of experience and, to calm things down. But it was just immense, man. Absolutely immense. I'm so what it does is it frees up Maddison. Right, he can play with more freedom because Maddison's not a guy that tracks back. Let's be serious.
Well, first of all, before I pick my special mention, my first one, do you want to say a very big up to this guy Hennessy? So not only did Hennessy yesterday, I can't remember what. I think it was Friday. It was Friday. Do you remember, Johnny, when Hennessy put in the messages to be funny? He was like, confirmed, I'm coming to my first Levy Out protest. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, he turned up. He travelled best part of 100 miles, and then he came down for the protest. Came with us to the pub, and then he decided, I ain't going home tonight. Booked into a hotel. We all went out for a curry. Me, Hennessy, Brian Ireland, Ryan, Stell, Ben Kaufman. There's about 11, 12 of us, and he's now on his way home. So Hennessy, it was wicked spending the day with you, mate. I hope you're good and travel home safely. Right, my first mention, and I've seen his name mentioned a few times, but I can't believe it. 216 people in with us, Johnny. 216 people are in with us. So
right, hit the likes, guys.
Big up. But do you know what? Now this performance hopefully will cancel all the doubt that has been going around about a certain Big Vic. My God. Do you know what? There's been a lot of talk right now. Obviously, there's huge gloves to fill with Lloris going, regardless of his decline. He's been the goalkeeper and captain for God knows how long. And people have been just saying that he looks dodgy. He doesn't look great. We even spoke about him yesterday, didn't we? In his last week, in his rushing out and whatever. But he pulled off 4 or 5 magnificent saves, and I do mean magnificent. One or two of them were offside anyway, but he didn't know that. And we bought him to stop the ball going in the back of the net. And if there was any doubt about his goalkeeping ability, people go, yes, it was one game, it was one game. It's Manchester United at home. And those saves were exquisite. As happy as I am for a performance like that, to calm everyone down, to show people why we've gone for him, whether people think it's the cheaper option, whatever you want to think about it, a couple of those saves were just outstanding, weren't they, Johnny?
Listen, look, I have never in my life gone out and bought a goalkeeper shirt. Ever. Right? Ever. Okay? But the hate for this guy before he even went in goal was unbelievable. Yeah, the West Ham game. He was at fault for all 3 goals. He's absolute shocking. We should have bought Raya. I had to point out to people that he didn't even play in the second half. Such is the hate that people can't, take those blinkers off. And they're looking. What sort of fan base are these people that are hoping a keeper or a player fails? We should hope that everyone can turn it round. He was unbelievable yesterday. My only criticism of him in that first half, when I look at Onana, when they play
What's the score? Oh, Nana. What's the score? Sorry, I can't help it every time I hear it.
When Onana plays, he's literally on the edge of his box or in the D outside his box. When they play the high line, I think Big Vic just has to move out slightly. He's almost on his own penalty spot. But other than that, wow, coming out for that block that he got early on, which was a great save. Those 2 other saves were absolutely superb. I think Sky gave him 9 out of 10 joints with Basuma. For all those haters, guys, right? If you don't like a player, it's fine not to like a player, but hope that they can turn it round. And when they do turn it round, acknowledge it and just embrace it, because Ange could be the one, right, who turns it around. Remember, Conte tried to get rid of Papasar. He wanted him gone on loan, not good enough, right? That's what you're dealing with, okay? Embrace the players and hope that they turn it around, because there's a lot of players now who are really producing strong performances. And that was an encouraging first home game for him.
It was. And Joe, I have to say, what I do love about this, what is, you all know in football or in life, there's people that will doubt but there's a lot of people that when they're wrong, they won't say they're wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that go, do you know what? Like I do, if the club does well or a certain person does a good deal, I'll say something. There's a lot of this is why I love our chat that we have, because there's a lot of people in here going, do you know what? I was doubting him before.
Yeah.
And Joey, everyone's got their right to do that. Everyone's got their right to go, yeah, do you know what? But it takes a bigger person to go, do you know what? Now I see it. Now I see it. I remember when we bought Vic, and Johnny, you'll remember this well. I was going absolutely livid, and I do mean livid.
You weren't the only one.
No, but the way I did it, I looked at it, and a good friend of the channel, James Flower, literally, I was going mad because I really wanted Raya. I really, really, really wanted Raya. And then literally, as that fell out, because of the price, whatever what happened there, and then Big Vic came in within 24 hours, and it was shit. I was spewing. I was going mental. And then James Flower put a tweet out, which corrected me straight away, where it said, do you know what? That's it. Typical Spurs fans. You say you want to go down the Brighton model and do things, and then you sign a goalkeeper or a player that you don't know, you personally don't know a lot about, and all of a sudden it's, Levy's doing it again, it's the cheaper version. And I was one of them. Listen, I'll blame anything I can on that.
I sent the video of his saves, right? In Italy, and I got abuse back saying, how can you justify this? Some highlights. I'm saying, no, I'm trying to show you what he's good at. He's already admitted to himself when he came here, he's got to learn the system. When he played at Empoli, they played a low block. It's a totally different system. He's not used to that huge gap between himself and the defence. He's not used to that. And I think that's why he's sat back. So thanks for subbing, guys. If you are, please subscribe, guys.
Yeah, please do. I've got to say, 258 of you in here. It's incredible at this time in the morning. We thought when we were going live Will anyone be able to join us on a Sunday morning? Will they want to join us on a Sunday morning? But to 260 people of you, thank you for staying with us and joining us. But yeah, sorry, Johnny, carry on.
Yeah, so my next one has got to be Basuma. Bissa, man. Wow. Antonio, what did you do to him, man? I mean, honestly, really, you know, I just couldn't get over the fact that when we signed him in July, our first signing for 20 to 25 mil, in October, he still hadn't played when Conte said he can't understand our system. He's struggling to learn our system. Well, hey, Ange's been here 5 minutes, okay?
Yep.
And he's learning how to play this system. He's playing with freedom and expressing himself. He's not Moussa Dembele, but he plays. He's driving that whole team. He is driving that team, and he is loving the responsibility. I'm seeing the Basuma that destroyed us when they played us Brighton. The Basuma that we signed. He was everywhere. The confidence, you know, that back heel, that back heel from John's effort in the box. It was just immense. It just everything about him. He's a leader. I think we've got a lot of leaders. Yes, 100%, 100%. He takes control of the ball, and there was a couple of times there where he received the ball. He looked around. There was nothing available to him. No one presented themselves to get the ball, and he just turned and he went. They couldn't live with him, that midfield. Casemiro.
I'm loving your names today. You've been thinking long enough. You literally went home.
Where was he? Where was he?
I think right in front of you, you've got a whiteboard where the managers do the tactics, where you've written funny people's names. I think that's what you've done. I can see what you did. But yeah, let's.
Yeah, JJ, you're 100% right, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
mate. Listen, when we look at Basuma, do you know what? You look at it now. Man of the match, Barcelona. Man of the match, Brentford. Got man of the match. I give him man of the match, but I think Papa Matasar, who we spoke about earlier, was right up there with him. I don't think he would have. They complemented each other so well, and you know what? He literally ran the show. I cut, like you said, we brought this player in, and we knew what we had in our hands. And you know what? And I will say it, Conte, you screwed up big time with this one.
Yeah.
If Conte had used him and used him correctly, who knows? Conte, we might have been talking different, but thank God we're not, because I wouldn't swap Ange for the world. I wouldn't swap him for his performance is just literally, it's breathtaking. Watching him play, he is so showing oh mate, we've got someone in the holy. I've got Jerusalem. Big up, Benny. Booker Tovachi. Oh yeah, look at you, you Hebrew. Look at you go. So he was just exquisite. Again, Joe, what? I can't remember using words like exquisite, magnificent, superb, all in one thing. I just don't understand how, when you're an elite man, you can just overlook something that was glaring you right in the face. His performance in every single part, and like you said, that showboating and that back heel was just, it's the confidence oozing out in him, isn't it? Big up, a good friend of ours is in the chat. Big up, Jack. How good was the atmosphere yesterday? It was rocking in the Coach and Horses. Johnny's been saying about how good it was in the ground. And Jack, we're doing something this week, so we'll be in touch and speak. Okay, let's get away from Basuma. I'm going to leave matters to you, so you can talk about matters, because I want to talk about another player. And I spoke about him last week, and he came off in the second half because of his yellow card, and he was putting in a few tackles. Paratici, and you speak, and I always credit you, Johnny, because when it comes to discovering the youth players that are about to come through,
I was going to go on to.
I've taken your one for a change. We have in Destiny Udogie, Udogie, yeah. This is. Do you know what? There's so many people that say.
How much was Udogie in the window?
There you go. There's that whiteboard in front of you again, paying the rent. But yeah, what an incredible player we have here. Going for, I mean, his link-up play as well. We saw with the midfield. He is just unbelievable. Paratici did his work, located a player, identified a player, got him in, and my God, this guy, you can't remember, what is he, 20 years old? 20?
But it was he was brought in with Gabonini as well.
Okay.
Gabonini, who was the scout who we brought in from Udinese, was Watford and Udinese scout, chief scout, and he came in obviously with Paratici and him.
Yeah, he's just Johnny. He is just absolutely like I think I said it in. I can't remember what game when we spoke about him. It might have been. Oh, I got another person in from Israel. Amir Aki Bukatov. Angle is in full swing. So, yep, it is, mate. It is. But yeah, Destiny Udogie. I haven't seen pace, power, and speed running down that left wing. And I'll be serious. It's Gareth Bale. Not saying he's Gareth Bale, but watching that. And for Ange Ball, he is just going to be the perfect left. I think he had another terrific game. What about you, Johnny?
No, listen, the thing about him is you haven't seen the best of him yet. You really haven't. What he loves to do, once he gets the pace up, the doggy, right, you can't stop him. The momentum, he gathers momentum like a train coming down the track.
Johnny, let me just interrupt you for 1 second, very, very quickly. Klaus, I just want you to know you might be your first time in here, but after special mentions, which is the players, we always save the end where we have a lot of Ange love. And today there will be a lot of Ange love. So for the 316 in now, get ready for some Ange love once we've got through a long list of players that deserve a special mention.
So listen, Destiny, right? You haven't seen the best of him yet. What you will see from Destiny once he gets up ahead of steam, and obviously against United, it was a little bit more difficult. But once he gets that steam up, you can't stop him. He loves to come inside and unleash. He's got a ferocious shot. Again, another 20-year-old we've got on our books who's just going to get better and better and better. So my player, I have to do them combined, really. I think I have to do them combined, which is Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven. Because Romero, for all the people, again, he's no good, get rid, he's a psycho. All he needed was to play with someone who knew how to defend, okay? Now, Mickey van der Ven, first 5-10 minutes, he was shocking. Two very errant passes that put us in trouble. Very nervous. I like the defense. The whole defense was after 10, 15 minutes. But let me tell you, when was the last time we have two centre backs that both like to go forward? You haven't seen so much of Mickey as yet, but for Wolfsburg, he likes to carry the ball through the middle of the park and go upfield. So does Romero. They work so well in conjunction. Romero, I've never seen Romero look so comfortable.
Yeah,
in
for a long time
in the defence, because he was not having to rush across the field and cover someone's mistake. I thought Romero was fantastic yesterday. Had a really, really good game. One of his best games for a long, long time. And Mickey, he can cover that left side now. You know, with Udogie and Mickey, has so much pace that they can cover when Romero goes up. And Romero seems a lot more comfortable. He didn't seem rash. And he was the yin to the yang. That's why personally, when I said to you, I didn't want Tapsoba, because I thought Tapsoba could be very similar to Romero. We needed someone calm. And Mickey grew into that game. He was absolutely loving it. So big up to that defence. They look rocky at times. They've only played, a week together? What's that partnership? Great teams have great partnerships.
Yeah.
That partnership's been there for 2 weeks. And, I think to be keeping a clean sheet against Man United, bearing in mind that Man United have never, ever lost at the stadium. So big up Romero, big up Mickey van der Ven.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're to. I mean, listen, like I said, they've only had a week together. Yeah, big up, Adam. Come on, England, when they kick off. Let's.
Yeah.
I'm actually home. I'm when England got to the World Cup semi-final and lost to Croatia. I was like, if we get to the final, do I fly home? Because I can't miss England in the World Cup final. Didn't get to do it. When we got to the final in the Euros, I couldn't come because of COVID. And now I'm here for a World Cup final. Let's just hope the Lionesses do it. But yeah, let's talk about them as a partnership. They've only been together a week, like you said, or had a full week together, let's
Yeah.
say. And I saw some, I can't remember who said it, but said, it's Boxing Hotspur 57. Said Mickey looked a bit stiff, but take the rough with the smooth. The bloke is an absolute beast. He's not bothered about kicking it into touch either. He did that against Brentford, mate, didn't he? And he just smashed it out of the ground, or it looked like. And that's what you love, a defender defending. Um, there were so
Wait
many
till you see
people.
his pace. Wait till you see his pace when he
There,
really turns on the
there were
burner.
so many people that were doubting Romero, and I have to admit, again, I'll show that I was doubting him last season. His rashness, his going forward, but then I realised he's doing that because he knows how crap we are back there. So if he does it higher up there, but I have to say, he looks so accomplished and so settled, and so that partnership, once it gets going and is solidified, and their first home Premier League game, 90 minutes together, because remember Romero
Yeah.
went off early in the
Yeah.
in that game, a clean sheet. Big Vic's got to communicate with them all week and said this is what I need or whatever they need to do. I think as a partnership, they were very, very, and it's the foundations being laid, isn't it, Johnny? They've
Do you
got
know what I
to
think was genius? Do you know what I think was
go on.
genius, Brian? Was Ange appointing him vice captain. It's like it's almost like he's grown up now and
Yep,
realizes his responsibility. In that back line, you are the senior man. You are the guy that was Serie A Defender of the Year. You've won the World Cup with Argentina. You were amazing, right? Go out and
yep.
lead us in the centre of that defence. But look how young that defence is.
Oh, mate.
Seriously, this is the youngest team we put out in about 4 years, and it could have even been even longer now after today.
You look at it. I can't remember if it was on Sky or his or Match of the Day where he was doing his Ange was doing his post match press or interviews with the like the BBC, Sky, whatever it was, and he was saying I had people out there today that were 20, 19, 21, 23. And you know what? That's what Poch started doing. That's exactly what Poch started
Yeah,
doing. We went from, do you remember when he took over? We went from having the oldest average age, and we plummeted to the bottom. And I wouldn't be surprised if we plummeted down the average age. I think the two of them were terrific. And here we go, my one. Everyone's been saying it, and we've been speaking about him because of the injury. And apparently, Alistair Gold has said that it is precautionary, but you never like to see what it did. James Maddison. James Maddison was again sublime. Took him a little bit to get into the game, but do you know what? That midfield three looked like they'd played with each other for about 5 years. The understanding, the communication, knowing when one was going. And do you know what I didn't see? I didn't know James Maddison had his game, and I was really impressed with it. That moment in the, I think it was in the first. It was in the first half where he took the ball from the edge of our area and literally did a turn and got away and just ran with the ball. I always see Maddison for the passing, the spraying, the through ball, the long ball, whatever. I'd never seen him run, or I'd seen him run obviously on a football pitch, but I hadn't seen him run with the ball like that so progressively. And just he's so tidy. He is so tidy, and just when you think he hasn't got any space to do anything, he finds space. He finds that pass. There's a couple of times I think he could have taken it. The only slight thing I'll say with him, especially with his shooting ability, there's a couple of occasions where he could have taken a shot, and I thought he would have. But another great performance from him, wasn't it, Johnny?
yeah. I mean, he dropped shoulder, carried the ball, created some space. I mean, we haven't. It's been a long time since we had players drop shoulders and carry the ball the way they have
Yeah.
done. Benton Core did it, but unfortunately he's out at the moment. I really liked that sprayed pass out to Ivan Perisic out on the left hand side, and Ivan's pass first time to Davis, which got the goal. I think Ivan is, he should be in the team personally for me at the moment. But no, he was very, very good. Maddison again. It was just refreshing. Everything was refreshing. My last mention, and I've mentioned it before, and I have to talk about this.
Let's do it.
This guy's got more hate than anybody. And as you know, in the spaces and everything else, I've been going on and on and on about this guy. And, believe. No, he's crap. He's crap. Fabio Paratici, okay? Destiny Udogie, 20 years of age, 15 million, right? Big Vic, 17 million. Papa Sarr, 12 plus bits and pieces. Solomon, 3. We've got others that are coming through, okay? The youth. Those players that you're looking at now, how much do you think Destiny and Sarr and Vic are all going to be by the end of this season? I'm telling you, right? The scouting is back. I keep saying it, been saying it for the last year. To regenerate the squad does not take 5 minutes. It takes 18 months to 2 years, right? We're now starting to see those shoots. They're growing, yep. And we're starting to see the benefit of it. I mean, 20 years of age. We got 2 of them. Mickey van der Ven. All right, we paid more for Mickey than we had hoped to get him for. But that was very much down to them seeing that we were going to get money for Kane. But on the whole, I think Big Vic, Paratici and Gabonini and Scolding have done a fantastic job and continue to do a great job. So when you see a signing come from left field, don't be doubting it and saying it's cheap. You can't have it always, right? Okay, we're not going to be the club that spends 100 million. Okay, I would rather be the club that buys a player for 10, 15, 18, 20 that turns into the 100. Yeah, that turns into the 100 million pound player, right? That's what I would prefer. And I looked on that pitch today. Basuma, 25 million pound. I saved the best for last, really, for current. How much would Basuma, when you look at the defensive midfielders that are on the market now, you tell me, is he much better than Declan Rice? Is Declan Rice any better than him? No, sorry, I'll get it right. I think Basuma's better than Declan Rice on his game. 105 million. So believe, let the process happen naturally. And I think the future is massively bright. We've got an under-21 team right now. He's managed to keep these kids together with Steinson and everybody else. They were going to leave because under Conte, there was no path. They couldn't see their path. They can see Ange has got the path clear. This under-21 team beat Man City 5-0 at their ground and won again on the weekend. Sonogo, we are looking good, guys. Be happy, be positive.
I'm going to have one more special mention, but before we do, I just want to say to a big fan, big viewer of the channel, big supporter of the channel, Ryan, I read that wrong at the minute because when you said a Spurs win and Ireland win in the rugby, I don't know if you know, Ryan, but Brian Ireland is here, and I thought you meant Brian Ireland had been winning in rugby. I was like, I know we were out late last night, but I can't remember, and I'm sober, and I was like, I can't remember any rugby. Then I realised you meant your country. So well done, Ireland, there. But Ireland is here in London, which is fantastic. I am going to give a special mention to this guy. And then all the Australians, after this, you'll be very, very happy. And all the people watching, but especially the Australians, because we will be going into the Ange Love, and I'm going to sing my song to bring us into it when we get there. But I do want to give Pedro Porro a special mention. And I think he deserves it because you and I still believe he is not a right back. He is a right winger.
100%.
And when I saw his name in that, and in the first half, a lot of their stuff was coming down the right, and I was like, oh, no, it's pot. But do you know what? His defending, he did extremely well yesterday. I think that was well, not that it was hard, but it was his best performance as a right back for the club. It's something to be developed on. I still think he's better as a right winger. I really do. But if that's what Ange can do, what this guy does with players, I don't know if we've got some kind of magic pixie dust or something now at Spurs, where he just sprinkles a bit like a Tinkerbell, and
Well,
then
confidence
they can
breeds
fly.
confidence, Brian. Confidence
Could be
breeds
that. Could be
confidence.
that.
I just wanted to give, just to say, Papa Sarr was the youngest Spurs player to score since 1-4 5 years ago.
Bloody hell.
You know, and was there another one? He also became the third player to score his first Premier League goal for Tottenham against Man United after Dean Richards in 2001 and Clint Dempsey in 2012. But there is a better stat than that, and I'll save that for when we get on to our man.
Let me just take that off. I
What's
was
that?
an international observer. It's time. Australians, anyone, it's time for Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou. I love Ange Postecoglou. Let's talk about the incredible, magnificent, ultra impressive diamond of a geezer. I don't know where that came from. Superstar.
Very Australian.
Mate, that was very Australian, wasn't it? It was very. I don't know what. There's a load of Australians in here. What would you say? What's the Australian for diamond geezer or top bloke or whatever? Johnny, I'm going to let you go on this first, and I think you and me might be here for a little while, and the 384 people in here might be in here for. Actually, let me just have a quick light check because we haven't spoken. So we're at 384 people watching, and we are at, drumroll please, 151 likes, people. So thank you, to 151 people.
Please.
But
let's. What you've got to do is hit the like button. It doesn't hurt. It's very easy. It's the thumb button in front of you, but it helps our stream. So if you want to see more of Brian and myself, some of you probably won't. But if you do, please give us a like button because it helps the algorithm and it helps the channel. And the more it helps the channel, the more content we can bring. So please give us a like. And if you're watching for the first time, hit the subscribe button. That also doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost you any money.
That's true. That's true. And I have to say, Johnny, that before we talk about Ange, 390 people in here right now, and this is the first Ange Postecoglou or ANGE-R Management we've done live, and this show has been getting a lot of good reviews from people in the comments. I'm getting personal feedback via social media, and obviously we had the technical issue last Monday, didn't we? So that's why Brentford went out late. But I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in and watching the show. It's a show we are very, very proud of.
Yeah, thank you.
And now let's talk about the man that the show is named after. Go on, matey.
I'm just going to say one stat which was quite unbelievable that I heard before the game was that Ange had not lost at home for 49 games. 49 games. I'm going to see, where is it? He hasn't lost. His last defeat was November 2020. Okay, with Yokohama against the Kashima Antlers, that well-known Japanese team. Right.
So we've got the Anglers, we've got the City, the Lions we played, the Sailor Lions.
The Antlers.
Oh, Antlers.
Antlers, yeah.
One second. Another super chat from this. This guy has come in and is a diamond. It's a diamond geezer. I'm going to keep using it, from Australia. David, thank you so very much, mate. Johnny and Brian, you were so right about Sarr. Yeah, mate. We listen. Sarr is just watch that guy go. But we're talking about your countryman, David. Thank you for your support of the channel again. I will not interrupt you this time, Johnny. Go back to Angela.
Listen, look, Ange had the fans eating out the palm of his hand, right? Ange Postecoglou, the songs, they have embraced him. I just loved every single part about him. I love his press conferences. I love the way he answers with honesty. I love the fact that, I don't have a manager who's sat there who's telling me, do you know who I am? Do you know how lucky you are to have me? I've got a manager that tells me how lucky he feels to be the manager of our club, right? How he's looking at everything, telling the fans he doesn't deserve the adulation that he's getting because he hasn't done it all yet. Okay, it's so refreshing. The way he came out onto that pitch against Man United after the game, hugged all the players, made the players go round, himself walked round, clapping everybody, pumping everybody up. He's got them like putty in his hands, the fans.
Yep.
I have not seen that connect since probably Poch second year Poch, and he's only what, 2 games in? 2 games in. What is our football going to be like, you know, once he gets to grips with it? Because look, it's not perfect. There's going to be a lot of potholes in the road, but you know, he said yesterday that he thinks that something special could be done here. Something special. Yep. Not this is the team I've got. I needed this. I needed that. You think we're going to finish top of the league? You know, this was Conte, you know, like taking the piss out of the fans and their expectations. He's saying he's sharing those expectations. He's saying that he can see something special there with this group of players. How refreshing is that?
It is, mate. It is. First of all, Ben or any mod, can you block this person? I'm not going to say the name because I know what they're trying to get me to do. And just to say, Spurs fans coming out of the wood that never saw us for last season. Well, mate, if you're in the Spurs community and you're a Spurs fan, you would see me pretty much everywhere. And you'd see Johnny, the new kid on the block. You would have seen him about. So nice try with the name, but good one on you. Big up, Kuva. Big Ange is a ripper, you little beauty. Ripper is a word they use. Thank you.
Ripper.
Ripper.
That's
it. Kuva, thank you, brother. And Adrian's coming. Big up, Brian. Love the consistent content you put out. We are getting a lot more consistent, thank God. Our recruitment has been good this season. We brought Johnny in. Ben Kaufman is doing his bit. Amir's doing his bit. Amir's in the community section. Everyone is putting in their bit, so it will be coming thick and fast. And saying that, just to let people know, Cockerel Doodle Doo might be a bit later tomorrow because me and Ryan Isaacs are taking Brian Island to the airport and he's got to be there for 8 a.m. at Heathrow. Ryan's driving him, so we might be a little bit later than 9 or we might do 1 in the afternoon, but there will be a Cockerel Doodle Doo at some point. Right, back to Ange.
Can I just read out his report, what he said?
You can read, if it's talking about Ange, love, mate, you can read out his...
Right, Tottenham boss Ange Postecoglou said, the atmosphere was incredible. The supporters were outstanding. The energy they created from the very first whistle was brilliant. In the first half, we looked a little bit nervous, a little bit edgy for the first half hour or so, and fortunate to be in the game. Honesty. We were giving the ball away cheaply, but it's not surprising. It was a real young team we're putting out there. There were very encouraging signs at the end of that first half. We settled them down at half time, and they came out with great energy, scored the goal and didn't stop from there. There were elements in that second half where we showed the kind of team we want to be. But 6 weeks into my tenure, these first 2 games weren't going to be complete performances, but you want sprouts of growth of a team we want to be. And there was the resilience too. We could have gone into our shells in that second half, but if anything, we got braver. We don't play to give the opposition chances. You don't want it to happen by design. But I thought it was great. Fantastic saves from Ricario. Great for his confidence. We want to entertain, but by playing football that brings success. I believe we have a special group of players here and good things are possible.
Joe, what I'm going to say about that, we may have a special group of players, but my word, have we got a special manager?
Yeah.
And people are going to say it's way too early, it's this, that, la, la, la. I've got to say, this guy, he's come into this football club at a point where if this football club was a human, it would be in life support and people would be going, clear, clear, to resuscitate him. And this guy has come in with players from the Poch era, players from the Jose era, players from the Nuno era, players from the Conte era that wouldn't do a job, just couldn't do it. The place was negative. It was getting stunk out. We all know what's going on with the board and whatever. This show is not about the board. And he came in with this club on its knees, and everyone like it. Do you know what? I keep going back to Alan Brazil when he was on Talksport when Celtic had just appointed him, and he was on there going, "Is this some form of joke?" He could be like, "Who is this?" And when he left, he was like, "Oh my god, what are we going to do about that?" And I've seen so many Celtic fans, and obviously the wonderful Australian contingency we have in, and started to follow a lot of more Spurs content as well because of the great man being here. I don't think this man has put a single foot. I'm being serious now. I don't think we can say, yeah, the sub. He has come in and rejuvenated the place. He has come in and brought new life into the place. He has come in and brought new confidence into the place. He has turned players that you didn't think had a chance of anything and turning him to something. He's endeared himself with the press. Everything this man touches, it's like fluffy clouds, rainbows, skittles, and champagne.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, Conte turned champagne into piss, and basically Ange has turned water into fine wine. He really has. I mean, he's taken this place from zero to hero very, very quickly. I mean, most Spurs fans, you know what he gives me vibes of, Brian, is very much, for me, the Arsene Wenger thing, where when he arrived at Arsenal, everyone went, "Who? Right? Are you taking the P? Right? Who is this guy? Right?"
Yeah.
We all know what happened there, and I think the same could happen here. I really do believe that. He wasn't on my list of managers to come. I'll be brutally honest, but I hold my hands up. We actually have a vision for once where, we feel like we're on a journey, and this is the start. And if this is the start of the journey, God knows what it's going to be like there when we arrive.
Yep. Yeah, just want to say to Body, Mind, Spirit, our next game is Bournemouth away. Tottenham away, which I'm imagining is Stel. Big up, my brother Stel. I hope you're good, man. A great night seeing you yesterday. But yeah, listen, Ange Postecoglou has certainly got Tottenham firing, hasn't he? There's just something in the air right now. Yes, we keep saying it's one game, but you see in training, the guys look happy, focused, and have the belief in their manager, and the manager has the belief in them. As Stel said, look, absolutely ran riot in the second half. I think it is Stel. I can't see it being anyone else. It could be Iggy. But I'm guessing that is Stel, so big up my brother.
Yeah, second half was a massive step up.
Mate, I mean, but put it this way, we were second half Tottenham with Conte. But that's just because that was shocking in the first half. I mean, I'm not comparing the two, but obviously we had a much, much, much stronger second half. But do you know what? I cannot wait to see this season. Do you know what? I'm actually excited now for Bournemouth. I'm going to Burnley away, so it'll be because I've got a few weeks left here now, and hopefully I'm going to get to a few away games because I won't go in. I can't wait to be singing Ange Postecoglou's name. I can't wait to go there. I'm trying to remember the last attacking game of football I saw at White Hart Lane, or away. No, so the last I was fortunate enough to be a couple of seasons ago at Leicester away when Bergwijn did it the last two. And then a few weeks later, I went to Manchester City when Harry Kane had that performance of a lifetime and we won in the last minute.
Yeah, that was
But I can't remember moments like that for a long, long time. Since Poch. I will say since Poch, without a doubt. And we are very, very, very... It's definitely still, but bigger. Yeah, everyone smash the like button and buy coffee from Ben's coffee shop. Ben, if you're still in the chat, put the link to your coffee shop in the chat. But yeah, Johnny, we're going to wrap out now because Brian Ireland's going to be...
I want to say one last thing.
Go on, Brian.
Yeah, the big thing for me yesterday was, great how we play against a team that likes to counter-attack. How would we play when we play a team who also likes to possess the football? And could we recover the ball well? First half, it was, first 20 minutes was very difficult for us. That second half, not only do we recover the ball, I mean, it's like, you know, there was a couple of moments with that, with the North Stand led to Charm Life. I think they hit the post and the bar 3 times in that first.
I mean, just quick, I have to say, Stell was saying as well that Man U, the fans were dead yesterday. Like they were as silent as anything.
Well, listen, you couldn't have heard them because that was the noisiest I think it has been in that stadium. Simple as. Guys, if you're in the room, please like, because it helps us. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then you'll get notified when we're next on, which will be the next game. But it helps the channel and it helps us grow. So really appreciate it. And for everyone who's watching, thank you for taking the time out to watch us. And the last thing I'd like to say before Brian takes us out is,
yep.
Come on, England, Lionesses. Good luck. Hope you do it and show the men up and show Gareth. Maybe she could come and be. I think she'd do a better job than Gareth Southgate, personally.
Mate, you would never know. And big up, KPV is in the building. KPV is in the building. Final, we're at 198 likes. Do you know what? That's incredible.
Let's get to 200, guys, please.
It's incredible. And on a Sunday morning, over 400 people in the chat. Listen, guys, let me know in the comments, or let us know in the comments, as in the YouTube comments, once the show's ended.
What you'd like to see. Yeah.
If you'd like to see this again live, 9:15 every morning, the day after match day, or the pre-recorded version. I think we're going to have an overwhelming do it live. Oh, it's at 208 likes. Cheers, Wolfsby. So yeah, just let us know in the YouTube comments after the show what you thought of the show, if you want to see it live or pre-recorded. And yeah, Johnny, before we go, mate, I always love doing this show with you. It's been wonderful doing it. I can't wait for the rest of the season to be doing it with you. But where can people find you?
Apart from here, if you follow me here on the finger work is just unbelievable.
Practice makes perfect.
Follow me on Johnny H3232, and we'll be doing the spaces during the week, and you can come and join us on those. Everyone's welcome, where we talk all things Tottenham or anything that's popping up, rumours. We had a fantastic one on Friday with the Belgium journalist who gave us some Spurs exclusives, which were very welcome. Sent some of the fan base into a bit of a frenzy. And suddenly we had a whole load of Tunisians following us. So give us a follow, and remember to like and subscribe to this channel, because we want to bring you more content.
Exactly. Do you know what? And all I will say is thank you so much for watching it with us. Please put your YouTube comments, feedback, positive, negative, live, pre-recorded, anything you want. If you want to put in your negatives, your positives, your special mentions, your Ange love, please feel free to do so. Do you know what? I'm toying. No, I'm going to do it. I've got my hands warmed up. I'm going to say, come on, England here. Come on, Lionesses.
Just leave it at that.
No, I can't. I've done my hands warm up. I'll end with it as well. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out. Come on, you Lionesses. It's coming home.
Come on, Lion.